You have said you love your work deeply and consider music to be the most unifying art form. Expand on that for me.
Okay, so I agree with that statement, first of all. And I think it is because it's immediately accessible for anybody, regardless of language. You know, I've had a couple cultural shocks when I go travel to different countries where they speak, you know, I've been to Taiwan and China, and they speak, you know, these languages that I just can't even begin to understand. But then I'll be in rehearsal with them because I sat in with a Chinese orchestra once, and they're sitting next to me playing trumpet, playing whatever instrument, and all of a sudden I know exactly what they're saying, and I know exactly how to respond, and you know, we can, obviously we're trained in that, but it's just natural for people to know what you're talking about when you're playing music.
You studied at the Peabody Institute after high school before going on to Juilliard, and you have said you had a reaffirming moment when you walked into the Peabody Plaza. Can you describe what happened and what you felt that day?
So I kind of got a late start to the music, to my interest in being a professional musician, and I was in high school, and it was my junior year. I realized I want to do this because this is awesome and it's fun, and this is what I'm meant to do basically. So I get to Peabody and I start walking through the plaza, and I hear these opera singers singing, and everyone's practicing. There's practice rooms everywhere, and I hear people practicing, which I had never heard in my life because I only heard myself practice. And it was really inspiring because all of a sudden I wanted to practice more, and it was, my whole time in music school was people bringing me up, and that's what it's all about, really. It's just people encouraging you to do your best and to do better. And so that moment encapsulated how I felt, leading up to that was a very important thing for me.
All that music flooding out into
Yeah, and you hear everyone practicing in their lessons, you hear their teachers, you hear it all, and it was very cool. I felt right at home.
Tristan, you have worked with some leading musicians of our time, among them Itzhak Perlman and Leonard Slatkin. What do you remember from those experiences?
From my experiences, it was in school orchestra both times, never a professional orchestra, but it was fantastic both times. I remember Leonard Slatkin being way more relaxed than I thought he would be. Like, I thought he would be kind of uptight and intense, but he was super chill, super nice, and respectful, and just kind to everyone. And Itzhak Perlman was the same way. He's sort of when you're at Juilliard, he's on faculty, and so he's, in his wheelchair around, and he's just, everyone sees him, and it's like they see their grandpa or something. Everyone loves him, and they're just so happy to see him. He's got this energy. So it was fantastic working with them.
So no intimidation,
No, just real people. Yeah, yeah.
You will be playing Hummel's Trumpet Concerto in E-flat major for us at our December concert. This work has been described as demanding and challenging. Why is that, and how do you prepare for such a concerto?
So the piece is definitely demanding. Particularly the last movement is demanding technically, but it's demanding in many other ways. But it's also really fantastic, really beautiful, and it has a lot of different contrasts for an old piece like that. It's one of 2 or 3 concertos that trumpet players really have, like from that era. Haydn wrote one, and also Neruda wrote a trumpet concerto. So in order to prepare for that, I need to be doing runs of the piece. Like I'll play it at my house, for my dog or whatever. I'll do a run of it in its entirety. It's probably 15 minutes. And I'll do a run of it and make sure that my face, my chops can handle it. And I'll also practice on a different type of instrument. It's called an E-flat trumpet. It's a little bit smaller. And that's what this piece was. It wasn't originally written for it, but that's what everyone plays on it now. People will play Haydn and Hummel on E-flat trumpet. So I'll be working a lot on that. And it's kind of hard to balance because I also play in the Jacksonville Symphony. So I'm going to have to be coming from a week where I'm playing C trumpet on this movie, a Disney movie called Up, which is awesome. And it's got a big trumpet part, but it's completely different from, classical, trumpet concerto. So it'll be a real challenge to put together, but I'm excited to do it because I haven't played the whole piece before, and I love it. So it's a great opportunity to get to actually play it finally.
We're excited to hear it.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Now, obviously, playing the melodica is much different from playing classical trumpet music. What do you enjoy most about being part of the melodica men?
There's a lot of things I really love about it. One of them is that I feel completely liberated from the technique of the instrument. Because on the trumpet, it's a very advanced skill set. Not to say that melodica isn't, but it takes care of certain things for you. Range, intonation, and endurance, sort of. But mostly range and intonation, which are and sound, I guess, those are the three big things: sound, range, and endurance or intonation. For students on the trumpet, that's really a challenge. But on melodica, you just blow, you just add air, and so I feel like I can really express myself, very transparently. And on the trumpet, I can do that. It's just way harder, and it takes a lot more focus and many years of practice. So melodica was just kind of like it was like a dream when I first played it, because it sounds pretty good, and I could play it because I've got the wind instrument technique and I can play piano. So I had those two skill sets, which are all you need to play melodica. And so it was just like, I could do it right away. I felt really gifted at it. And so that's part of what I love about it. And I also love the repertoire that we play. We play full orchestra music, and we really learn more about the music, and it's really satisfying and engaging. So it's a really fun thing. Yes, very multifaceted right now.
Tristan, what do you most want patrons of the symphony to know about you?
I think the most important thing is that we are here for them, and we are here for the audience, because sometimes I get really nervous for performances, usually not on melodica, but on trumpet, because I have a responsibility. If we're playing great music, which we always play great music here, a couple of years ago we did Wagner, and there's this one moment where you're capturing the moment of this character who's just died, and it's like devastating, and he was the hero and everyone loved him, and the trumpet plays this really emotional, incredible solo. And I got really nervous for that and really stressed out, because it makes me feel it brings me up so much, and I want people to feel that way as well. So I hope that they do. And that's really what we go for every day. That's what I go for.
Thank you.
Thank you.